I have two big hands, so normally I like to start with but
Don't forget to work the
I like to give a little it's not only a good TV show, it's a great thing to do. Oh, what's the question?
Yeah, the band started, just a little before COVID. Landon and I started jamming together. We worked together and we just discovered each other, played instruments, and thought we'd just play some covers and have a little fun. And then COVID hit and nobody could do anything with anyone. And so we were like, why don't we try writing some songs and we can send pieces back and forth. It'll give us something to do while we're isolated. And so we started doing that. And in the meantime, I've known Kevin for a long time, and my wife actually knows Kevin quite well. And she said, Kevin just started taking bass lessons. And I said, well, tell him he's got a band, man, because we don't have a bass player. She's like, he started yesterday. I'm like, he's better than the bass player we have right now.
Dramatic, oh, won't you grind me down to graphic? Kerosene and plastic. Just let me pretend. Just let me back in. Just let me pretend. Just let me back in. Cold and alone, just meat on a bone, tattered and blown. I'm too dull to home. Left broken and wanting, rebelled and too daunting. The mounds of what could have been are oh so haunting. Just let me pretend. Just let me back. Just let me pretend. Just let me back in. Out of Mr. Grain, it's all the remains. I didn't mean with primal pain that there's nothing to gain. So dim my brain and static, so melodramatic. Won't you grind me down to graphic? Kerosene and plastic. Kerosene and plastic.
Kerosene and Plastic is the name of this song, and it came from this idea of wanting to belong so badly, so desperately, that you'd be willing to be anything, do anything just to fit in. This idea of someone just tearing themselves apart in order to be whatever it takes just to belong. My name's Landon. I play guitar, I sing in Birthday CAKE Trebuchet. And I've been playing since I was, grade 5 or 6. I picked up an acoustic and started playing. Had lessons until I was just about halfway through high school, and then after that I started writing, I started creating, and I wrote the first song that we still play back in early 2009. I wrote it for my partner, who's now my wife.
Oh, right, the mic.
Yeah, you'll kind of need that one so
Yeah,
we
I
can hear
suppose.
you.
I'm Rob Calavel. I play drums in Birthday Cake Trebuchet. Started playing drums at about 19. Took about 20 years off in between, then picked them up again when I discovered Landon played. I got raised in a house where there was no musical off limits. My dad was a huge fan of bands like Queen, Led Zeppelin, bands that would play like any style of music, not just one style. And as I grew up, I was a huge fan of Faith No More, a band that would again do anything they wanted to do. Each song was completely different from the next. And I grew up with that attitude. There's great music and so many different kinds of music. So that's why, I shouldn't say that's why, but it's one of the reasons we like to play a lot of different styles.
I've allegedly owned a bass for about 4 years now. So right around when COVID started, my son was taking guitar lessons, and I decided instead of just sitting outside and listening to him take guitar lessons, I would take bass lessons at the same time. And then these guys found out I owned a bass and had 2 big lessons under my belt, and then I became part of the band. You know what? Honestly, I've been into music since as I was a super young guy, but I've never been a musician. I actually don't consider myself a musician. I consider myself a creative that just happens to own a bass. My 2 big influences when I was young were Weird Al Yankovic and Sir Mix-a-Lot, which is an odd mix, but I love those 2 guys, and I would have been happy to be like either one of them. But then grunge happened, and now I'm in Birthday Cake Trebuchet. I don't know if it's a flavor of bass that I bring, but I do bring the apathy that all good bass players have.